It's so wonderful to be here with you today. I want to ask you about my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is going through chemotherapy right now, and she's really not feeling good with it. And all of her friends are kind of amplifying that when they keep talking about her condition with her. And she kind of loses focus from this reality. She's going into a state of almost dementia, which is not like her. I mean, she was totally focused before this all started happening. Is this just something that's a temporary thing, or is she starting to make a transition, or what could be going on with her?
Well, if you were in the middle of something unpleasant, wouldn't you like to withdraw some
Yes.
of your attention from it?
Yes.
And we would say that that's what's happening, that a broader part of her is not wanting to be absolutely present during all of that. And so there's a diffusing of consciousness.
Okay.
And it's an interesting thing because physical humans are very eager to have you fully present. In other words, the other day, Esther was in a woman's restroom in a restaurant. And she could not see the people that she was hearing, but she could tell it was a mother and a small child. And the mother was very angry at the child and was scolding him about something. And the little boy is saying to his mother, "Be cheerful," which just made her more angry. And so she is saying, "I'm talking to you. Are you listening to me?" And he said, "I can't hear you when you're angry." Which really made her mad. And now what we are getting at here is it's an interesting thing that most physical humans are more interested in having someone's attention than they are in the person that they love being connected to source energy. People are so afraid that they will drift off into Never Never Land, or that they will go off into the Twilight Zone, or that they will attract Alzheimer's or some dementia of some kind, that people are all the time wanting to say, come back here, focus right here, focus right here. And what often they are saying is, come back to this most miserable of all moments that you've ever been focused within and give me your undivided attention. And we say sometimes what happens is that broader viewpoint is coming forth. And that is the reason that sometimes people say, well, is she getting ready to make her transition? Because it seems that she is focused somewhere other than here. And we say, remember that you are powerful beings who are extensions of source energy. And often in your most critical moments, in your time of crises, there is more summoning than ever before happening within you. And so it is natural that more source energy than ever. In other words, when you realize what the chemotherapy is actually doing to the body, can you imagine what the cells are doing in terms of asking? There has never been so much internal asking vibrationally of source energy. And we are certain that it is more source energy that is being summoned than anyone under those conditions could even begin to comprehend. Sometimes people will even come to a gathering like this and they will say, I can't remember anything that I heard, but I know I received a lot. And we say it is because you're receiving on many levels of your being. And sometimes when more is coming than you can consciously articulate or even decipher, then there is a sort of attitude of removal. And so we would bless that in her. In other words, we would not try to snap her back to attention. We would say to her, and it doesn't matter what all of her friends are doing. If she has one friend who is understanding and who is expressing it from your place of connection. So as you say to her things like, I feel like what's happening is source energy is coming forth in a stronger than usual way. And it wouldn't surprise me if you feel a lot of swooning, because I'm certain that there's more energy that is coming to assist you than you can consciously articulate or interpret. And I don't think you have to. And it's good. Just rest and be well and feel the energy. And if we were visiting with her, that's what we would encourage her to focus upon, because knowing the vibrational asking of those cells and knowing how source energy always comes forth in response to that, we would say to her anything that she can do to soften any resistance is the best thing. In other words, sometimes, especially when someone is being, you said the discomfort of it is so overwhelming. But there is another part of that she can focus upon when there's that much cellular activity going on, and it's huge. In fact, we cannot imagine a physical bodily condition where there would be more cellular activity going on than in a situation like this, where so many of her cells have been affected and so many of the other cells are asking and so much source energy is coming forth. In other words, this is a very powerful time for her. Right. So we would encourage her to feel for the cellular response. In other words, that's a very positive thing for her to feel for, listen for, sense for.
Yes.
And sometimes she will actually feel energy moving through her body. And when you are feeling for energy moving through your body, it's why it is such a tool with meditation. When you are deliberately feeling for energy moving through your body, what happens is there is a diffusion of focus, there is an immediate lowering of resistance, there is therefore immediate greater allowance of the energy to flow, and the healing process is optimum under those conditions. So encouraging her to focus upon the cellular energy run would be a very good point of focus for her.
Okay,
yes.
Good. Thank you very
Indeed.
much.
Indeed.